I was born in Blount County at home, and it was just a country doctor, and I didn't realize it. This may not be what you're wanting
No,
to
this is
hear.
perfect. Yes.
But he messed up on my birth certificate and had me born in August instead of September. He got the year right, but the day and the month were wrong. And I didn't know that until many, many years later when I needed a passport and I needed to get my birth certificate I had just left it with my parents when I moved out. And there it was. So I have 2 birthdays now that I celebrate.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you grew up in Blount County?
Blount County and Loudoun County.
In Loudoun County.
My dad worked for the L&N Railroad, so we moved whenever his job needed him somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
So we lived in the Benfield community. Do you know where that is?
I do know that where that is.
Blount County. And then I don't remember when we lived any other places, but my brother does. He's 2 years older than I am, and he remembers that we lived in the Mentor community.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we lived there, and I went to first and second grades at the Benfield School, which is that pile of rubble now,
Mm-hmm,
you know where that is, too, up the Warden Road. And then we moved to Greenback, and then I went to school there the rest of my years.
Wow. So you spent most of your school years at Greenback, and then you taught there.
From 3rd grade on, yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and then I came back and taught there.
That's wonderful. So who are your parents?
Claude and Pearl Hammondtree. She was a Lemons,
Mm-hmm.
and we still have relatives around here, some Lemons, but I don't have many relatives left. They're mostly deceased now. Yes, I have one brother, Alfred Hammondtree.
Alfred Hammondtree.
Greatest ever. His
Yes.
birthday is Saturday, so
It
we'll
is
be wishing
right
him
before
happy
mine.
birthday.
That's exciting. So how old is he going to be?
He'll be 87.
87. 87. That's
I'm
wonderful.
85.
That is just amazing. Because I know that you walk up and down your driveway to get your mail. That's what's kept you so young.
Oh, keep
It's
those
amazing.
letters coming to me. I need a reward after I go down the hill. I honestly can't remember a time that I didn't know about Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I know more about him now and rely on him, but as a child, our mother taught us about Jesus. And this is ironic because Sunday, it came up in Sunday school lessons, something that Gail brought of how we had remembered something from childhood, maybe from faith.
Mm-hmm.
And Alfred mentioned that he remembered so vividly how we used to say, "Now lay me down to sleep." And Mama had us to kneel by her. She'd, like you're sitting,
Mm-hmm.
she would have us kneel, and we said it. We always said it together. And then that brought back a memory. I remembered how we began racing to see who could finish first. But anyway, we knew about Jesus from the beginning, and we always went to Sunday school and church. And I don't remember not knowing about Jesus, but I actually did dedicate my life to him and it was at a tent meeting. It was in Greenback, and I must have been maybe 11 or 12, I'm not sure, because I know there used to be so many children and young people in the Gina community, and we walked everywhere we went, and that was just a mile, and that was fun for us to go. And I'd never been to a tent revival. And then I don't remember who the minister was, don't remember who my buddies were that I had gone with, but he gave the altar call, and I was just kind of amazed that all those people got up, because I'd never been to anything like that before. And then he said Jesus was offering salvation to, and I knew that I already believed in him, but my father's aunt, her name Aunt Lola, She was Lola Henry. She was a Jordan. That family pronounced it Jordan, like Shug Jordan, you know, the coach. But anyway, she came back, and I remember she put her arm around my shoulder, and she said, "Honey, don't you think it's time for you to go up there and profess?" And I thought, well, I already believe, but yes, I believe I will. I want to go. So I did, and I made it official then that night.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
And I can't remember how old, but 11 or 12, but I knew what I was doing, and I just made it official that night.
And who did you marry?
Graham Cooper Jr.
Graham Cooper Jr. Now, was he from Greenback, or where was he from?
He was born in West Tennessee, in Jackson. But his father was a teacher. His parents were both teachers, and his father was from West Tennessee. But he wanted, after he met Miss Cooper, she was a Murray at that time. He wanted to come back here. He had a scholarship to UT. He played all kinds of sports there, and but he loved it here, and this is where he wanted to live. So. And Miss Cooper said she had tried so hard to get away from the farm. They lived in that ramshackle house. It didn't look like that then, but that's where they lived. And so there it was. I have one child, Michelle.
Michelle. And how old were you when you had her?
24.
24. And so and you raised her in church. Did you raise her at Pine Grove? Is that where you went?
Yes, that's where.
And so
Graham was a member at the Greenback Presbyterian Church, but he didn't seem to care whether he went or not. and I decided that I wasn't going to go there alone. That I'd rather be in my own church. So that's what we ended up doing. And then when he went to church, he went to Pine Grove too. And Michelle was raised in the church, and she was baptized by Dr. Albert Kropp. He was our minister at the time, and it was in the Easter time that she was baptized. She was born in November, and then she was baptized in whatever time Easter was, because it was about that. It was that time that I do remember that. She's married to a fine young man that she met in graduate school at University of Missouri in Rolla. They were both majoring in geology, and that drew them together. And they have 2 children, Carrie and Colin. You've seen them both in church, I think.
Can you give me a specific experience in your life that tried your faith?
It might have tried my faith a little bit, but it was my faith that saved me through it too. When Graham died, I honestly thought that I couldn't live through that. And it's true that when you marry and the minister says you become one, you two know you do. So a part of me died with them. I know it did, and it was so hard to accept. And the only way that I was able to get through it was to ask Jesus to hold my hand and not let go. And I confessed to him that I could not make it without him. And I know people mention that they've heard Jesus actually speak. Ron, our pastor, does. He mentioned, and I didn't hear anything, but he spoke to my heart. And I felt God's presence. I felt that Jesus was with me that whole time. And he's still with me. And it's a wonderful experience to know that the Son of God is with you. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing. The Lord gives us peace that passes all understanding. He says, my peace I give you. And can you tell me a time that you felt this peace and were aware that it was from him?
That too. I mean, it was, I knew after I made that plea, And it was a heartfelt plea. I meant it. I honestly didn't. I couldn't see how I could live with part of me gone. But there was a peaceful feeling that came over me, and I know it was God's peace.
Absolutely. And could you tell me, has there been a time that you've stayed up all night praying for something specific? You don't have to tell me what specific.
I can't remember any long time that. Of course, I pray every day and night. I like to begin before I hit the floor. I like to thank God for my wonderful rest, and I just ask a quick blessing on me for the day. And I'm selfish at that time. I'm praying for myself. I'm the one that's got to get out of bed and go. And then I like to let that be the last thing before I go to sleep too. So that's when I include the rest of you.
I'm glad to be a part of that.
I'm glad you are too.
At this time in your life, what relationships are the most important to you?
Church, and family, and I guess those are the two things that. So families are so important. And
looking back over your life, can you give us just a little glimpse of some important events that you, and that would maybe be when you got married, when you had your baby, any other important things in your life that just stood out in your...
well, those are the
those are important.
They're the biggies, aren't
The
they?
biggies, yeah. See, I took the easy ones.
Yeah, they are. And I think it's really a milestone in your life when you agree to marry somebody.
Yeah. Yes.
By the time you get your wedding and all the excitement of that, it's sort of a given thing. But when you know and I knew that if I ever married, it would be forever. I knew that. So that was important. And then, and you both have children, so that's so important too, that you're given a chance to influence a life.
Well, now you got to influence a lot of children.
I did. They influenced me too, but I love teaching. I love teaching, and I'm so happy that I was able to have that experience. 40 years.
40 years that you taught. Now, did you always teach English, or did you have something else that you taught?
I taught English and French at Greenback. In Roane County at Midway, I taught English only. I started there, taught 2 years there, and then came to Greenback. And then Graham and I got married, so that's where I taught. That's the rest of my years.
What was your favorite Sunday meal that you had? Like, you get up and go to church, and then you come home to a meal. What did your family like for you to cook?
Oh, we didn't really cook a meal after church. We sort of snacked. On whatever we could find. It was not a Sunday dinners were not big with us. We just it might have just been a peanut butter sandwich or whatever. But we always had a heavy meal at night. Our supper and dinner, that was the big meal for us. And it is still the favorite, chicken and dumplings.
Ooh.
And my grandchildren, unfortunately, feel the same way. They have to have chicken and dumplings. Not just once when they're here, but it's a staple.
It's a staple. That's wonderful.
That's it. That's the big meal.
Do you have a favorite scripture that you go to, that you've kept in your heart, that you go to?
Probably that first one that we always learn, John 3:16. That God would love us so much that He would give His Son, and especially after you have your own child, you know what a sacrifice that was for God to do that. You can't beat that. You can't beat
That
John
is-
3:16.
That's wonderful. The last question that we have is, what advice would you give a young Christian woman that is working, raising their children, in church, and just having so many responsibilities? What advice would you give her?
Start with God and stay with Him, and He will stay with you through whatever you need. He's always there. Just ask Him.